Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world. Okay, so I'm just sorting out my mobile. Oops. Okay, so I think I'm organised. Yeah, so how are you? Let me know how you are, what's going on, what your weather's like, where you're watching from. So, for those of you who don't know, I think most of you probably do know by now, but of course, I get new subscribers all the time. My name is Vicky Marie. I'm originally from the UK, but I live in Spain. I work from Spain. I am in my other life, so a Spanish teacher. So, if you want to learn Spanish, you can also find my books on Amazon. I need to do I'm going to do a merchandise video. I'm going to talk a little bit about merch in this video, just to remind you, that merchandise, it's available on my Ko-fi page. But anyway, first of all, I just want to tell you what we're going to talk about. Oh my goodness. So Nancy Guthrie. Poor Nancy. Remember Nancy before, there's no news about Nancy, but behind the scenes with the YouTube streamers and Sheriff Nanos being like a little Hitler in his neighborhood, acting like the sheriff out of Rambo First Blood. Oh my God, well, we know what happened to him, so let's hope that doesn't happen to Sheriff Nanos. I mean, what is he doing? He's just making up laws to suit himself. Anyway, that's what we're gonna look at. This has resulted in a couple of live streamers actually being arrested. But for what? I mean, yes, they're annoying. I'm sure they're annoying. Whether you agree with what they do or not, isn't the freedom to sort of do what you want in a public space? Anyway, that's what we talk about. We're also looking at Nanos a little bit more. Of videos emerged of him trying to smuggle a gun into another state that he wasn't supposed to do. Think about Sheriff Nanos is, oh yeah, it's okay for him to lie on his resume, beat a suspect as he's allegedly has done. All the things that Sheriff Nanos has done that have not been really legal, and he's a sheriff, but that's what he thinks. I'm the sheriff. I'm the sheriff. I do what I want. And then YouTube streamers just sit outside, which are just maybe a little bit irritating, and they get arrested for what? For what? What law? What is the law, or is he just making up laws to suit himself? So I don't have any feelings towards the YouTubers whatsoever. They're doing their thing. Their followers, they like watching them, they like listening to them. They're doing it in a public place. They're not trespassing. They're not doing anything terrible. This is a neighborhood where a masked man with a gun, walked right up to an 84-year-old lady's house, walked into her house and kidnapped her, allegedly. Or we don't even know what happened because it's not been solved, this crime. This is a neighborhood where all that happened, and they're getting all worked up. A couple of YouTube, and it really is only 2 or 3 now, sitting outside and videoing and talking to their followers because their followers like it, and yeah, they're earning money from it. But if somebody wants to give money to a YouTuber, whoever it is, that's their choice. It's their money. I just don't understand how people feel they've got a right to tell other people what to do with their money. You didn't give that you didn't give that person their money, so you can't decide what they do with it. If they want to give it to a YouTuber, even if it's one that you think is a grifter or is a this, that, or the other, that's their choice. Nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you whatsoever. Anyway, that's what's happening over there in Tucson, or Pima I'll tell you something, I'm glad I don't live in Pima County. They said I don't think YouTubers camping outside would get short shrift here in Spain, probably. But America is the land of the free, isn't it? We're going to have a look at that. America prides itself. That's, prides itself on being a free country, free speech. Not in Pima County. No free speech. No, get arrested just for sitting there. So we're going to look at that. That's what we're going to look at. So first of all, I'm going to say my thank yous. Thank you so much for watching, of course. Please subscribe. Please like this video. These are free ways you can help my channel if you like it. And most importantly, leave your DNA, your fingerprint on that notification bell. You get a notification, hopefully. I'm not brilliant with notifications, YouTube, sometimes. You get to know when a new video is coming out. So, of course, we have been concentrating a lot on the British case of Preston David. The jury not sitting today, so I wanted to catch up on sort of another case that we've been following, which is, of course, Nancy Guthrie. So thank you, special thank you to those of you who become members. Tomorrow night is Members Live. So yeah, we normally have a bit of fun in the Members Live. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, load of waffle probably. But it's nice, we can all get together and have a chat, and it's Thursday again this time, so hopefully people won't get caught out, because last time I think I had to change it to Friday. Anyway, tomorrow it'll be Thursday, unless, of course, I'm saying that maybe something massive will happen. I don't know. I'd like to see a break in this case, wouldn't you? This case of Nancy Guthrie, looking at over 4 months. Must be half months. I don't even know time, because it didn't disappear on the 3rd January or something like that. From her home in Tucson, Arizona, in Pima County, just disappeared, plucked from her bed, taken out of her house, blood on the porch, etc. Anyway, so sorry, I was saying thank you. I often get distracted. So I was saying thank you to my members. Thank you to those of you who've bought me a Ko-fi. I think my Ko-fi, let's see. Now, the thing, I really appreciate anyone who contributes to my channel, as you know, in any way. Oh, and I just want to say, I haven't been answering emails that much. Sorry, I've had a few technological things. Have you ever noticed that as soon as you get one thing sorted out on the computer, something else happens? So, I had a problem with my Ko-fi account. Not a problem with the account, just getting into it. And then finally sorted that out. And then I had a problem with my bank. And then, it's just, as soon as you get technology, of course, is really good in some ways. Sorry, I'm just trying to do this. But when it goes wrong, it's a nightmare. And, that's anyway, it's all sorted now. Everything's fine for now, waiting for the next thing to go wrong, as it does. So, yeah, this is my Ko-fi link. Thank you to all of you that have sent me Ko-fis. Very nice. People buy me Ko-fis, to appreciate what I do, and that really matters to me. Also on the merchandise, like there are mugs, like this mug. I'm not in the mood for twonks today. I think I should change that, but I'm not in the mood for twonks any day, but ever. But it's all different colours. You can order any colour. This is the black one. There is a bottle of wine on there, special Vicky Marie bottle of wine. There's T-shirts. Can't remember all the things that are on there, and I'm adding to it all the time. So thank you to people that have ordered things from there. And you know what? You can order it in any way. You can send me a message. you can send me an email. You don't have to do it through the Ko-fi website if you have problems with PayPal or whatever. And I can personalize any item that you get. I literally will put, you just tell me what you want on it, what's the message you want on it, do you want a photo on it? It literally is completely personalized and so individual. And what I'm working on at the moment is putting on some necklaces and things, because I always wear a different sort of choker necklace. And I'm working on that. And they, again, when it happens, will be completely unique. You will never see anybody else wearing the same necklace. And remember that everything that is on there includes posted and packaged. So that is the total price. So that's the Ko-fi. Thank other people send me super stickers or PayPal me. Thank you so much. And also thank you to people who just send me emails with cases, or as I say, I haven't been very good at replying to emails lately because I've had all this technological stuff going on. And thank you to those of you who leave nice comments, just generally contribute to my channel in any positive way. Thank you so much. Okay, hello lovely lurkers. Good to see you. You're all looking fantastic. Hi to replay crew, those people who can't get here live but like to catch up afterwards. Thank you for watching. And in the chat, who have we got in the chat? There's a couple of people in the chat. We've got Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, isn't it? I lose track of the days. Hi, Kelly. Hope you're well. And hi, Julie. So we've got a few. I'm not sure where Daniel's from. Where are you from, Daniel? And now we've got Sean as well. So we've got people from a lot of different corners of the earth here. So Australia, Spain, and the UK, I think. Sean, are you from the, is it Australia or New Zealand? I get mixed up sometimes. I think you're from Australia. But yeah, so it's a very cosmopolitan channel, isn't it? It may be a small channel. Well, of course, I've got the 2 channels. But it's very cosmopolitan. And my chatterati are special. Okay, so can you believe this? So have you ever seen Rambo series? Oh, good, to watch, but the best one. So the first one is often the best one, isn't it? Rambo First Blood, Sylvester Stallone, Brian Dennehy, the sheriff. Let's have a look at a photo. Very good film. Very old film now, of course. Everything's old now, well, for me. But, I still remember this film so clearly, like watching it the first time. It's just a brilliant film. Really good acting. Brian Dennehy is a good actor. Sylvester Stallone, he's a good actor in the things that he does, isn't he? He's not a very... Oh, you're in Sydney, Sean. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I thought Australia somewhere, but I couldn't remember exactly. Now I've forgotten what does it. Oh yeah, so Sylvester Stallone, you wouldn't say he was a good actor like Robert De Niro is a good actor, or can play different parts, or Brad Pitt, who's a brilliant actor, or Anthony Hopkins. Sylvester Stallone is good in the roles that he does. He personifies the roles that he does, and of course Rambo was one of them. Brian Dennehy is a very good actor. He was a good sort of more all-round actor, though he often plays law enforcement. They must just have that look about him. But he also played John Wayne Gacy in a film about that serial killer, John Wayne Gacy, and Brian Dennehy. He played John Wayne Gacy. That was a brilliant film as well. So it was definitely an era for good films, wasn't it? Let me take my banner off. And for those of you who don't know what happened in this film, so John Rambo, Sylvester Stallone's character, of course, he was an ex-vet, don't mean vet, animal doctor, I mean an army veteran, and he was just walking along through this town. He just wanted to come in. I think he was off to visit somebody that he used to know or coming back. And he just wanted to, he was just walking along the road one day. And John Dennehy's character, the sheriff, saw him. And he decided, don't like the look of him. He's a stranger. This reminds me so much of Nanos now. He didn't like the look of him. He didn't fit into their little town. He thought he looked like he might be trouble. He hadn't done anything. He was literally walking along the road. So the sheriff stopped him, didn't he, and spoke to him and said, oh, I'll give you a lift through the town and drop you off at the other end or whatever, or, you know, or go back where you were coming from, but you're not walking through my town, you know, that kind of thing. So John Rambo, you know, you could tell by his face, he wasn't very happy about that. And of course, this is how it started. And this is sort of what happened afterwards. So that might be, I think that's another Rambo film, to be fair. Because, of course, there's about 6 of them, isn't there? But yeah, this is how it started with, you know, Brian Dennehy having a quiet word with John Rambo. And this is how it ended with John Rambo getting Brian Dennehy pressed up against a tree and threatening to slit his throat. I don't think he did, though, actually. Anyway, very, very good film. It's an exciting film. When it, you know, when it's sort of soft light, you know, when John gets the ump and starts, you know, because he goes on the run through the forest, doesn't he, and that, and picks off the police officers that are chasing him. So, you know, it's a good film. And when I heard about these streamers being arrested by Sheriff Nanos's sheriffs on Sheriff Nanos's orders, just made me think of that. I thought, what do people, you know, does Sheriff Nanos make up his own laws in Pima County where, you know, people can only do what he says they can do, but in the meantime he can do what he wants? Apparently, allegedly, again, it's a rumor, I don't know if it's true, he went to have his wife's car windows tinted and was told that can't do that because it's against the law. And he said, well, what are they going to do? I'm the sheriff. That's how you feel about Sheriff Nanos, isn't it? He's I mean, he is an egotistical prick, isn't he? You know, anyway, this photo is from when he was not arrested. He wasn't arrested, but he was detained for trying to smuggle a gun into another state. But, you know, he got away with it because he's a sheriff, I suppose. Anybody else would have been arrested. He came out, we're going to see the video of him saying what happened. Oh, he made some cock and bull story. He forgot he was in there. Oh, he forgot he had this gun. Just threw everything into the bag together. And, oh, God, he just forgot completely. But he's lying. You could, well, look at how defensive he is. He's in very good condition for a man of his age. I think he's nearly 80. But, of course, we know he spends more time in the gym than he does in catching criminals. He's and the criminals that he catches are the ones like the YouTube streamers who are literally just sitting there. He can't catch. He hasn't been able to catch Porch Guy, has he? You know what? You remember this, Sheriff Nanos? Do you remember while you're hounding all these streamers, etc.? Do you remember this guy walked up to one of your residents' door with a gun and a balaclava on and kidnapped her in the middle of the night? Or have you forgotten about that? Does that not matter anymore? You're just leaving it to the FBI now. I don't know. Don't know what he's doing, you know, because again, he's still not doing press conferences. He won't do a press conference because if he does a proper press conference, he has to include the FBI. Doesn't like the FBI, does he? So, you know, It's funny, earlier on in this case, I sort of portrayed him as the clown sheriff. I'm going to put a picture mock up together of him, the Rambo sheriff, because, yeah, he's just reminds me of Brian Dennehy and Rambo First Blood. And we know what happened to him. Or if you haven't seen the film, you should try and watch the film. It's a really good film. It's an old film, but it's a good film. So, first, before we look at Nanos's interviews to explain why he's arrested these YouTubers, I just want to read you the Star Spangled Banner. I'm not going to sing it, so you can, you're lucky. You're lucky I'm not going to sing it. I'm just going to read it out. Singing, I won't have anybody watching after if I started singing it. But this is, oh, no, wrong one. Wrong one. There it is. So I'll get out to you. I think there are 4 verses. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner get wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave? The land of the free, that's your key, that's the key. Oh, gosh, well, I'm not American, but I know that is the foundation. It doesn't always work out. It feels like it's not working out at the moment, not with Trumpy in charge, but the land of the free. That's what Americans are proud of. They sort of got away from the monarchy, the British monarchy. We're still in Britain. They're still under it all. They want to take I wish we could have a different national anthem, because it's God Save Our King. We want a national anthem about the country, because people think you're not a patriot if you won't sing the national anthem. I am a patriot. I'm proud of being British, but I'm not. I don't believe in the monarchy. On the shore, dimly seen through the mists of the deep, where the foe's haughty host in dead silence reposes, what is that which the breeze o'er the towering steep, as it fitfully blows, half conceals, half discloses? Now it catches the gleam of the morning's first beam, in full glory reflected, now shines in the stream. 'Tis the star-spangled banner, oh long may it wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. And where is that band who so vauntingly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country, should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps' pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave, and the star-spangled banner in triumph doth wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, thus be it ever when freemen shall stand between their loved home and the war's desolation, blessed with victory and peace. May the heaven-rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause is just, and this be our motto: in God we trust, and the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Well, it doesn't feel very free at the moment to me. Hi, Lily. Definitely doesn't feel as if it's a free country, is it? When you can't even sit in the road in a public place. whether you agree with the streamers or not, they're still not breaking any laws, really, are they? And the thing is, in America, I'll say this is in the bedrock of American pride, isn't it? Freedom of speech, freedom in general, but not in Pima County. In Pima County, you're only free if you do what Sheriff Nanos thinks you should do. If you don't, if you criticise him or you do other things, you're not welcome in Pima County. And you'll get even arrested for sitting in the road, in the public road. I mean, they got rid of all the media by stopping the parking, didn't they? They've done everything they can, and now the memorial's gone, but nobody really knows who took it. I mean, Sheriff Nanos said he thinks that the family took it, but he's not speaking to the family. So that's the other thing. The Guthrie family and Nanos, they're not in any contact whatsoever. I mean, why is that? You know, it's the whole thing is just weird. It's like they're trying to strangle this story. And to be honest, even the family aren't really doing much to, you know, why aren't they out there handing flyers out? Maybe they know more than we do. Maybe maybe they are right on the verge of a breakthrough. They've been saying that for 4 months. In the meantime, so while all this drama's going on, and YouTubers are getting arrested for, nothing, the guy who took Nancy is wandering around free. He's still wandering around. And not only that, we don't know where Nancy is. We don't know who they can't get this guy, but they can arrest a couple of streamers for misdemeanors, which, to be honest, they're not even misdemeanors that really exist. He's making them up as an excuse to arrest them. It's terrible, honestly. I do think it is terrible. And it's not because I like the streamers particularly or don't like them. I don't watch them anymore. I did watch them in the beginning and that, but now I don't. But they're there because they want to be there. Their followers want them to be there. They're still, I suppose, receiving super chats and things like that. Well, yeah, they're going out and sitting in the boiling hot sun every day. They're keeping Nancy's name out there. Are they trying to make us forget about Nancy like she never existed? That's how it feels to me with the neighbours. It's like, oh, let's pretend Nancy never existed and all this didn't happen in our lovely, safe neighbourhood, which obviously is not lovely and is not safe. Then that Sue Ellen, horrible woman, went and put all cactus and everything on the easement and dog excrement. Why didn't she get arrested? Why didn't she get arrested for doing that? Terrible. And in the meantime, the family are staying quiet about it. Of course, you've got Tommaso and Annie. Still a lot of people looking sideways at them. I don't know. I have no clue what happened to Nancy. All I know is she was definitely taken by someone who knew her. I'm not saying it was a member of the family, but somebody knew that house, felt comfortable around that house. And I think it was to do with money that she was taken. Maybe somebody owed her money and they didn't want to give it her back. Anyway, we've had a few appeals, of course, by Savannah, but really not lately. She put a post, didn't she, on her Instagram that we looked at, but it was just a post appeals. And the other guy, the other sibling, is Cameron. We've never heard much from him, really. So, maybe they want to be quiet. I don't know how it would feel. It just seems to me, there's people out there, as I've said before, they're desperate for attention, that their loved one has gone missing. Desperate. They would love it to be in the media and people talking about it and, asking questions about it. And here's this family that have got that. Nancy has been a focus of attention from mainstream media and social media. And they don't want it. They don't want the attention. The way I'm sort of feeling at the moment is if the family, if they're trying to shut down this story so much, I'm thinking, oh, why should I even talk about it? But, I'll do it for Nancy. If I can't, now, I try to only talk about sort of official things that come out. But there hasn't really been anything, and I hope that does mean they're on the verge of a breakthrough. I hope the DNA does mean that they can actually get proper evidence together to charge somebody, rather than just the 2 people they detained and it came to nothing. Because it makes you feel very vulnerable wherever you are. To know that somebody could do that, literally just walk up to someone's house with a gun in the pocket, a balaclava on, a vulnerable old lady, if she was even in the house at the time, 84 years old, supposedly taken out of her bed, blood on the porch, poof, disappeared into a puff of smoke. Maybe she'll come up in these UFO files that they're releasing. She's been beamed up to the Starship Enterprise. Where is she? And in the meantime, Sheriff Nanos, all he's bothered about is the neighbours' stupid petty complaints. If I would have been sheriff of that neighbourhood, I would have said, look, stop bothering us with these petty complaints. If they come up to your door with a balaclava on and a gun in the pocket, yeah, give us a ring. But don't give us a ring just because, I don't know, they're sitting on the road. Ooh, sitting on the road. Oh my God, get the, SWAT team out. They're sitting in the road. Oh my God. Hold the phone. Just, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So these neighbours, especially that Sue Ellen one, come to the neighbourhood and pluck an old lady out of her bed and kidnap her. Don't you dare sit on the road. Don't you dare sit on the road. I'm going to put cactus and excrement there so you can't sit on the road. So, and so as I say, if I would have been the sheriff, I would have been saying every time they rang to complain about that, just saying, get on with it. Get on with it. Just live your lives. I mean, they're only there a couple of hours. Anyway, don't get me wrong. I know it'd be a pain. Of course, it's a pain. So personally, I think I'd feel safer knowing that they were out there on the road and hoping that perpetrator didn't come back and kidnap me and take me off. He's not been caught. When the day comes that the perpetrator is charged, safely hidden away in prison, then maybe that's the time to get angry with the streamers. But I just don't get it. Anyway, I just don't understand the anger towards streamers. Why aren't they angry towards the man who came and did that to Nancy? Anyway, let's have a look at this video. So this first video we're going to look at, this is your man Nanos, the Rambo sheriff, explaining why. Let's see, which one is it? Is that one? Announces, yeah. So Pima County Sheriff announces crackdown on Nancy Guthrie neighborhood. Oh my God. So he's got drug dealers. Pima County's got a massively high crime rate. And he's cracking down on 3 YouTubers. Oh my God. Crackdown. And now he's announcing a crackdown. I'd like to see him announce a crackdown on knife crime or drug crime, or a crackdown on something important. This man is just... How he ever got to be sheriff, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you how he got to be sheriff. He got to be sheriff by lying on his resume. He's a bad man. He's a bad alien. He's just like, he lies, he waffles. And now, yeah, crack down on Nancy Guthrie neighbourhood. Shame he didn't crack down on Nancy Guthrie neighbourhood before Nancy was stolen from her bed, eh? Let's have a look at what he's got to say.
But the complaints got to be pretty egregious in that the behavior of those individuals was becoming pretty scary, pretty frightful.
After months of neighbors complaining about unlawful...
So you hear what he said there? He said those complaints got to be very scary and frightful. Frightful, he means frightening, of course. Of course, he's thick as that as well. So I'm getting angry with him now, because how can he say? I mean, those YouTubers, they're not doing things that are scary. There was a ridiculous weekend that they had where JLR was, for some reason, decided to wear a balaclava and they were breakdancing, and that was ridiculous and should never have happened, because there was no respect there for Nancy. But these ones that is, those were different YouTubers than the ones that he's arrested. These ones that have been arrested, they are respectful. As much as it may be irritating to have them around and that, they're not out there making a big spectacle of it, etc. They're just there. And they're always polite to the neighbours when the neighbours go past or whatever, from what I can see anyway. I mean, as I said, I don't sit and watch it all the time, but I see clips on Twitter and things like that. So what's he talking about? You know, and then he said, oh, the neighbours' complaints. Well, you know, tell the neighbours not to complain about trivial things. You know, if they've got a proper complaint, but they didn't.
But the complaints got to be pretty egregious in that the behavior of those individuals was becoming pretty scary, pretty frightful.
So pretty scary, pretty frightful, terrible. A bit like lying on your resume or beating a suspect unconscious, like, or trying to smuggle a gun over a border, like you've done, Sheriff Nanos. But of course, it's all right if Sheriff Nanos does it because he's the sheriff.
After months of neighbors complaining about unlawful behavior in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood, the Pima County Sheriff says enough is enough. Tonight, Sheriff Chris Nanos announcing a crackdown on the problem, and News 4 Tucson's Monica Garcia joins us live from the foothills to explain. And Monica, I know this has been a big issue. What do they plan to do about it?
That's right. We just spoke with Sheriff Chris Nanos, who says he tried to respect the public interest surrounding this case. A lot of people want to know what's happening, right, especially in the months after. And he's also trying to respect at the same time the rights of the people who live in this neighborhood. And let me just step aside, showing you what's still out here, Sean, these no parking signs. But now as we talk about going into the 5th month of this investigation, he says complaints about a small group of individuals has grown so significant that calls to 911 from this neighborhood have tripled. And now he says the warning period is over. So Sheriff Chris Nanos says his office first responded to complaints with education, warnings, and requests for deputies, began issuing citations that carry fines. Well, now going into the 5th month of this investigation, Nanos says some individuals that continue the same behavior despite those citations, well, now they're going to be subject to arrest and possible jail time if their unlawful behavior
For what, though?
continues. Take a listen.
If somebody's just out there from one of our local media outlets or even a YouTuber and they've not been cited, then fine, we'll give you a citation and expect you to be reasonable with us and not come back. But if we happen to look at you and say, no, you
can't tell someone not to come back to a public place. You know, does it say, no, well, we'll give them a citation and tell them not to come back? But for what? You do need a law. You know, just, as I say, it doesn't matter if you agree with the YouTubers or not, what they're doing. You cannot just say to someone, like in Rambo First Blood, oh, you're not walking through my town. Why? Oh, well, because you might do something. Well, I haven't done anything. Oh, well, you're not walking through my town. Who does he think he is? Seriously. And he's, you know, and he should have told those neighbours, look, these and we've got real crime to deal with. You know, like trying to find out who actually kidnapped Nancy and all the other things that are going on in our jurisdiction. Stop ringing.
You've received a ticket. You've been cited for the same behavior. That didn't do you any good. You've upped the ante for me, so we're going to now take you to jail.
Okay, so the sheriff says the new
Oh, you've upped the ante for me, he said. You've upped the ante for me. I'm sure if those streamers were out there saying how brilliant the sheriff was and what a good job he was doing, maybe he won't be sending them to jail, would he? Don't forget this area as well. I mean, I don't know what the political demographics are. Nanos is a Democrat, isn't he? And of course, Nancy is a Democrat. She probably voted for him. She probably voted for him in the sheriff's elections because she, you know, that is her political persuasion. What about the rest of them, I wonder? Is it because they are part of his voter base and he needs his voter base? Because, of course, his job is under threat, isn't it? Because he only won by 42%. Sorry, he only got 400 votes, wasn't it, or something? You know, he only just got elected. So is he trying to appeal to his voter demographics? Because in case he's wondering if, you know, something's going to happen, because there are sort of processes to try and remove Sheriff Nanos. Is that what's behind it? You can't just say, oh, well, they're not listening to me. You know, you are subject to the laws of America, not the laws of Sheriff Nanos. As I said, doesn't matter if you agree with who you agree with or who you don't. The basic you know, right to sit on a public road in the easement, you can't stop people doing it just because you don't like it. You know, it's and the other thing that ironically, you know, definitely two of them, the ones that were arrested, or three I think were arrested, two actually went to jail, you know, just for a couple of hours, like, but their donations to their channels, because the bits that I watched about it, people sending them in donations to pay their fines, and you know, so it's sort of worked conversely like that. They're talking about taking him to, and I've got to be honest, I would sue him. You know, America is a society where you can sue people. JLR will advise him on that. He's the king of suing people. They should sue him. That's civil rights, freedom. You know, that is against, he has not followed the law. Whether you agree with what the streamers are doing or not, you still have to follow the laws. So basically what you're saying is, you're not doing what I want you to do. So sod the laws in America, I'm going to do this.
Policy is aimed at what he calls habitual offenders. And he goes on to say that he has the support from the Pima County Attorney's Office in this latest move. We will have much more on this story. So coming up tomorrow, we speak directly for the first time from neighbors who live in this area. And they're going to talk to us about specifically what the sheriff was referring to, this unlawful behavior that they've had to endure for months.
What a load of cojones. Unlawful behaviour they've had to endure for months. Hi, Julie. Yeah, I agree with you. He's concerned about himself, Sheriff Nanos. I expect these people are all his voters, his voting demographic. And the neighbours, yeah. The thing is, tell you what, if they're worried about the price of their homes, oh my God, I wouldn't live there if you paid me $1 million to live there. Would not live in this area. Well, for a start, it looks scary and isolated, and that's proven by the fact that so these neighbours who were so bothered about everything, they didn't even notice. They did not even notice when a stranger in a balaclava and a gun just walked right up to Nancy's door. didn't even notice. They're too, but now they notice everything. They're on the phone every 5 minutes. If a bloody YouTuber just, I don't know, chews gum or something, it's like, oh, is it legal to chew gum in Pima County? There's a misdemeanor right there. Just ridiculous. And exactly, Julie, the person who took Nancy, hello. Let's remember what happened here. Have you found the person who took this lady? No, you haven't. So, you're arresting YouTubers for misdemeanors. And you can't find this twonk. Concentrate on finding this twonk instead of wasting your resources on. Now, a couple of the police who turned up to arrest these YouTubers, one of them in particular, I didn't say it's I agree with it, but it's what I've been told. Because don't forget, Nanos is not exactly dead popular, is he? We can see that in the police department itself. He's not popular. He's ego-driven little man, isn't he? That's what everyone says about him. And you know what? The thing is, then the more you learn about him, the more you realise it is true. Because at first you sort of think, oh, well, there'll always be some people who like you, some people that don't like you. But nobody comes out and says how brilliant Nanos is. Everybody, even his own sheriff deputies. So let's have a look at this video. So this is this video we're going to look at now. This is from a Twitter account, and I think her name is follower. If you're a Twitter person, I know she's a Twitter person, but she puts up some very interesting posts about various crimes. Now then, I've got to do something with, right, I need to take that picture off. Oh my God, wonder what his wife thinks of him. Just imagine waking up living with that guy. Bloody hell. So it'd be like, is he like that at home? It's my way or the highway? Does he, it's like, I say it, so it's true. It's his way or no way. Just make sure it's sharing. So yeah, this is security video that's been released showing Sheriff Chris Nanos when he was stopped for bringing an undeclared handgun to a Transportation Security Administration checkpoint at the Tucson International Airport in 2024, as he was going on a trip to Laguna Beach in California. He missed his flight but was released without charges. It's one law for him, one law for everybody else. He is ego-driven, and you know what? I think you've only got to look. You've only got to look at his face. Sorry, I think that the face tells you everything. Certainly the eyes. He always looks contemptuous, doesn't he? And here he's very defensive. He's got his arms folded. Yeah, hey Sean, I remember that. She was a porn star, wasn't she? That was ridiculous. That was in the early days when the world and his dog literally were out there, weren't they? And that woman, who's a porn star apparently, and she had those tiny little black shorts on, didn't she? And stood there, and didn't she throw a load of gloves into the air or something? Yeah, listen, it was a media circus in the first month or so, but we're all responsible for that as well, in a way, because we wanted to see what was going on. So the thing is, the media will always follow what's going on that people are interested in. That's their job. That's what they do. You know, unless you're a little YouTube channel like mine where I can just talk about things I'm interested in, sometimes it coincides with what the world is interested in, and sometimes it doesn't. Like, you know, talking about Preston Davies, the trial there. That's not something that a lot of people are, you know, that a lot of the other media are covering. But I'm covering it because I'm interested in it. I'm in that position as a small sort of social media YouTuber, whatever, that I can talk about what I'm interested in and hope that my chatters, who most of them are sort of like-minded to me, they normally find interest in what I find interesting, or maybe they'll find one case interesting, but they don't another, so they won't tune into that one. You know, people, they'll see what I'm talking about and decide themselves if they want to watch it. Now, it's different for bigger media companies. You know, that is their job. That is the way they, you know, that is their sole purpose, raison d'etre, isn't it? To sort of attract the public's attention. So, in those early days when there was the media frenzy about Nancy, and it felt like it was going to break at any minute, didn't it? That's why they were there as well. Is because, you know, we had the 2 detentions of the guys who were released. And there was that feeling, like a feverish feeling that something was going to break, wasn't it? Anyway, it didn't. And so gradually, the bigger media, they got fed up, didn't they? Because there was nothing happening. And then the war broke out. You know, Donald Trump, he decided to go to war, didn't he? So that was more interesting then. So they started covering that and they left Nancy's case behind. And they only revisit the big media companies, etc. Rarely revisit it. In fact, they're revisiting it now because of these streamers being arrested, but not because there's been any break in the case or whatever. You know, so it was crazy at one point, wasn't it? And you could, like, remember, I was watching JLR there. I watched JLR a lot. I just don't watch him now because of the domestic violence charges against his ex-partner. I can't, you know, he's innocent till proven guilty, I suppose. So we'll see what happens with that. But also, I've seen some videos of him like getting. The thing about JLR is he's there. He's very intrusive in his job, what he does. But then when people started looking at him and investigating what he'd done with his partner, he didn't like it at all. Now, you know, you can't be like that. You can't be there shoving a microphone under someone's nose and videoing them and saying, oh, it's my right to free speech. And then when it comes to you being investigated, there's no right to free speech. So that's double standard. So I don't agree with that. So that's why I don't watch him anymore or talk about him really. And then other streamers sort of came along and saw it. Some of them did see an opportunity, you know, to make money. If that's what streamers do. So, you know, that's their livelihood, I suppose. But they're no different to me than the mainstream media being there. That's their livelihood as well. So that's what people do. That's the job, what it is. And it was crazy. And then there was all sorts of people turned up. Then there were people turning up to help search. And that was all poo-pooed by Nanos as well. He didn't want any but outside help. He said that. His sheriff's office actually said that to people that were volunteering to search. We don't want any outside help. So Nancy could be just lying out there somewhere in the desert and they don't want anyone to look for her. And there's lots of other people lying out there in the desert that are missing. It's a very strange attitude, isn't it? It's like, we don't want any help. We're doing it ourselves. But really, all they're doing is arresting YouTubers for misdemeanors. Just don't get it. But anyway, so this is him at this airport, at the Tucson, Arizona International Airport. So he was bringing in an undeclared or taking out an undeclared handgun. Now there is a video. This is a photo, isn't it? Of him So I expect the first thing you told him is he was a sheriff. Oh, I'd like to have seen him in handcuffs, that's for sure. Anyway, wasn't arrested.
Okay, I have to read you your rights because of the whole. Okay.
Just let me make sure that's sharing, actually. I think it is, yeah. Let me know that, I can check on here if you can hear it or not. So look at his stance, folded arms, very defensive. He'd be like, don't you know who I am? I'm Sheriff Nanos. Oh my God, how dare you stop me?
You have the right to remain silent. You in the court of law. You have the right to the presence of an attorney to assist you prior to questioning and to be with you during questioning.
So they're reading him his rights. Oh my God, he looks completely pissed off, doesn't he? Thing about Nanos is it's all the laws are for other people, not for him. He does what the hell he wants. He wants to bring in an undeclared handgun. He's going to bring in an undeclared handgun. Anybody else would be throwing the book at him. Oh my God, those YouTubers can't even sit on a public road and they're getting arrested and put into cells. And he's doing this.
The right to have an attorney appointed for you prior to questioning. Do you understand your rights, sir?
I do.
Okay. Now, having been advised of these rights and understanding these rights, will you answer my questions?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Formality.
Make sure I picture him good.
Okay. You're the only one that handled the bag today,
Yeah,
to your knowledge?
well, my wife may have.
Yeah, so they've asked him, are you the only one who's handled the...
Department issued. Okay.
Going to be.
Do you remember packing the firearm?
I
or is
did.
it-
So last night we had a election night, so we went. We went to the Star Pass Resort, stayed there. I had the gun in my car. I didn't want to leave it in the valet, so I stuck it in that bag when we were late and just threw everything in.
Okay. Okay. What all have you gone over with him or?
I handed him his notice.
Okay.
And then I let him know that you were coming up.
Okay.
And then as soon as you get done, I'll advise him what
Do
the
your
steps
thing.
are.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever you are done, sir.
Let me contact my chain.
You do your chain, and then I'll tell him
And
what
you
the next
do the
step
thing.
after you do yours.
Perfect. I got this.
Now, can I just say, you notice how the American flag is up there in the corner? This goes back to the rules. Don't they sing the Star Spangled Banner every morning or talk about the Constitution or whatever? This is how important it is, the Constitution in America, for a country that broke away from the British rule, if you like, fought for their freedoms, like Nanos, just deciding you can't sit in that public road.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to the presence of an attorney to assist if you so desire. If you cannot afford an attorney, you understand your rights, sir?
I do.
Okay. Now, having been advised of these rights and understanding these rights, will you answer my questions?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Formality.
Make sure I picture
Okay. You're the only one that handled the bag today,
Yeah.
to your knowledge?
Well, my wife may have, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is your firearm?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a department issue.
Department issued. Okay.
Department issue.
Where are you traveling today?
We're going to Laguna Beach through LA. LAX, I think.
Do you remember packing the firearm?
You know, I
or is
did.
it-
So last night we had a lecture night. So I had the gun in my car. I didn't want to leave it in LA, so I stuck it in that bag, the backpack. Took everything to the room. Got up this morning in a rush. When we were late, and just threw everything in.
Okay. Okay.
Obvious lie, because then he folds his arms defensively. He knew exactly that he had that gun with him. If he thinks everybody's stupid, if he wasn't a sheriff, he would have been arrested for that, or he would have been, you know. So he missed his flight. That's about the worst thing that happened to him. So talk about two-tier justice that, you know, bloody Americans like Elon Musk are always talking about in Britain and everything. Two-tier justice there in America for Sheriff Nanos. He should have been arrested. Oh, he put it in his backpack and he forgot it was there. He was just rushing around, you know. That wouldn't wash with an ordinary civilian, would it? You know, if they told that to the police, oh yeah, sorry, I had that gun that I shouldn't have had, but I just forgot, I was rushing around. They would still be cited or, you know, given a fine or whatever. So he got nothing was done to him except he did miss his flight. Shame.
Have you guys have you?
Then I let him know that you were coming up.
Okay.
And then as soon as you get done, I'll advise him what
Do
the
your
steps
thing.
are.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you are done, sir.
Let me.
After you do yours.
Perfect. I got this. And your phone number is this 465? Okay.
So, what do you think of that? You know, let's just put his picture up there. You know, what do you reckon about that? Why has he got away with it? Why should he get away with it? Because he's a policeman. The YouTubers for nothing, really. I think on this lady's oh yeah. So in the meantime, that report we saw from you know, a local news station, 857 Tucson, who's one of those YouTubers that got into trouble a couple of nights ago, and he posted this and he said Monica Garcia reporting from in front of Nancy Guthrie's house. Her car parked on the street. You're not supposed to park on the street. And inside information, the sheriff was going to make arrests. So they'd alerted the media beforehand as well. By the way, Monica, I saw you driving around the neighborhood for about 1 hour before the arrest, snapping photos. I will never watch your channel again. That's what he said. So that was all staged. The Monica Garcia News 4 Tucson, it was staged. So, you know, Nanos is working with the media, but the media he chooses to work with. Let's see. She had some other videos up. There might be a video of the arrest. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, and there's the memorial before somebody took it away, and we don't know who took it away. I do feel at a point where I'm thinking, if nobody wants us to talk about right, so these are the two that were actually put in prison, you know, DAA Juice and Criminal Network. You know, I mean, I don't know. They literally, Alex Zabel, this guy, he looks scary, but he really isn't. He looks scary because he's got all those tattoos and everything. But he's not, and he's not. He is respectful to the neighbours, etc. I personally, I think if someone had been snatched, one of my neighbours had been snatched out their beds in the middle of the night, I'd quite like having someone like Alex outside stopping. I'd feel a bit more protected. Obviously, he's not the perpetrator. Same with the other guy. He's not the perpetrator. So, I just don't understand the vehemence about it. Anyway, yeah. So somebody who paid, so their bail was paid and they were released. If they hadn't been bailed out, they'd still be in prison for sitting on the street. Oh, there's the arrest of DAA Juice. Let's have a look at this. I mean, I did watch this before, and this guy was scared. And black people don't always get fair treatment from the police, do they? And you could tell he was nervous about it, because when they came up and said they were going to arrest him, let's have a look, he was incredulous. Like, what? Arrest me?
This is the direction we're going. I'm out of here. You guys. I understand that, but just give his 43. And we'll get going. All right, bro.
They've already got my information several times. And you're not telling me why you're here. I don't know what's going on. You just came and, but I don't know what's even going on.
Right now, we're nuisance. Can't be here. Effective today.
Effective today, public nuisance that we can't be here.
Public nuisance.
And under what law that is, he said?
Well, did you get a ride here or how'd you get here?
Yeah. I always get dropped off.
Okay. All right, bro.
A new law.
All right, man. So you get me.
I'm going to be cited for this.
Yeah, it's an actual.
Now, when I was watching this originally, and it was, as I say, a couple of nights ago, but yesterday I was, obviously talking about the Preston David case, so I didn't get a chance. When this guy starts putting his gloves on, I could see DAA Juice looking at him. As soon as he starts putting his gloves on, I found that quite chilling, because you knew they were getting prepared in case they had to lay hands on him. Put handcuffs on, or in case he started fighting, or, as soon as he got his gloves out and started doing that, it gave me a complete chill, and you could tell he's looking at him, he's thinking, why is he putting his gloves on? He's going to actually arrest me. He's incredulous that he's been arrested. I think he thought they were just going to say to him, look, you've got to go or whatever, and he normally rings his girlfriend, then she drops him off there, she goes off, and then she'll come back. So don't forget, these YouTubers, they live in the area, so they're not traveling miles and camping out. They live not far away. But yeah, as soon as he puts his gloves on, it's not going to be good, don't you?
It's an M2 misdemeanor.
M2 misdemeanor.
So let's get your stuff together. You come with us, all right?
Get my stuff.
Grab your stuff.
Can we request a supervisor? I'm not.
I told you.
So I'm coming with you guys. Where am I going? I'm getting booked into jail.
Because you already cited before. So.
But they didn't tell me that I could not come back here.
I understand that.
I was told that I was okay as long as I was not on the east. I'm not aware of anything that you guys.
Look at this guy. It's very threatening the way he's standing there with his gloves on, his hands on his hips. You can tell that the YouTuber, he said, I'm uncomfortable. Can I speak to a supervisor or something? And they're like, no, it must have been pretty scary, really, to be honest.
So, like,
Can I get a supervisor, please,
I'm already-
before we move forward? Because I don't understand how I'm going to be arrested for something that
here's what we do. Like I said, I'm really trying to make this as
no, and I'm not gonna.
I know.
I'm not gonna give you guys a hard time at
No, I
all.
know.
If you guys want me to go with you guys,
we're not gonna. We don't wanna
so
do-
I'm not able to call for a ride
Yeah,
and
well,
leave.
here's the thing. If you call someone,
No, you can't call for a ride because they're arrested.
Yeah, I can call my girlfriend. Yeah.
call, pick up your gear and pick up all your stuff, and we'll get you out of here, okay? And
Wow.
I'll give you a copy of the citation.
So you're gonna give me a copy of the citation. So I'm excited. I'm not going to jail. I'm just saying
Physical booking. It's a physical being cited. You're being arrested.
for coming out here and doing what we've been doing this entire time.
7 to 9 minutes. Was your girl the one I dropped you off over here?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to mess. You don't want to damage any of your equipment.
No, I know. Call.
That's all yours.
So he arrested it.
Just me.
So he just.
Well, because I have not done that. Actually, he said the other sheriff that has the same badge as you guys said we're fine. So, like our citizens, that if he
That's
if
crazy.
he wouldn't have been allowed to take the lead, but you guys have to do. I mean, obviously, whatever your
I was never told that I wasn't allowed to come back out here. Any of that. That's crazy. I'm trying to call my girlfriend, but she's not answering. My first name is Troy. My last name is Bradshaw. I go by Troy, but I mean on stream. This is my stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to call my girlfriend, but she's not answering. So I'm trying to get her on the line.
Those phones right here, so.
Yeah. I just got here maybe 10 minutes ago. I've been on stream for 10 minutes.
What they should have said to this guy is, because he said, I was never told that I would be arrested. I was moved on yesterday. Maybe if they would have said to him, if you come back, you will be arrested, he wouldn't have come back. So he's come back because he wasn't told he'd be arrested. And, Nanos, Sheriff Rambo, he's decided enough's enough. That's it. Go and arrest him. And they arrested him and Alex from Criminal Network, but they did not arrest the guy, 857 Tucson or what. They didn't arrest him, but they moved him on. Why did they arrest two and not the other one? So it's just he's just arbitrary. He's just doing what he feels like doing, and there is no legal justification. I hope these people sue him, because as I say, it doesn't matter whether you agree with what they're doing or not. There are fundamental rights that people have. And if you're going to think that they've not got the right to do it, then who has got the right to do it? If you're just somewhere where a sheriff decides, I'm not having this in my county, regardless of what the actual law is, and regardless of the fact that America's supposed to be the land of the free, you can't say, oh yeah, you can do that, but you can't do that. It's either you've got the freedom or you haven't.
Mind if I use your phone real quick to call my girlfriend?
Yes, sir. Yeah, no problem.
Because it's not going through for whatever reason. I don't have any service at all. Say it again.
You say your YouTube handle is the juice?
The juice, yeah.
Like DAA, DA.
Correct.
Juice, not
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm sure you guys been watching, or most of you guys. They said they've been watching 24/7.
Yeah, so they know who he is exactly, because they've all been there. With some of the other sheriffs had said to him that they were all watching him. Because the thing is, there's only a couple of streamers left now, so it would have been difficult in the beginning to watch all the streamers and all the videos because there were so many. But now Nobody's talking about Nancy anymore because they've strangled this case. Literally. It's like strangling Nancy. You know, it's like the memorial disappearing, the cactus and the dog excrement on the easement. And now they're sort of removing the YouTubers and that. What's going to happen next? And they're not even looking for Nancy. There's no search parties out looking for a body or anything like that. You know, what the hell?
Hello? Can I? No, you're good.
Yeah, this was shocking because they already came by. Like, it hasn't even been that long.
I just got here.
Within the last hour, the sheriff were out here with 3 deputies.
I got you, man.
And they never said anything to warn us. They were like, hey,
I guess they're taking me to jail. Can you come grab my? They don't want to take any of my stuff.
Why are they taking it? What's the lawyer's number?
I have no idea. For obstruction of stairway or something like that. I have no.
I think they do want the case forgotten about. Because don't forget, Nanos is not even speaking to the family now. He said that himself. He wasn't in contact with the Guthrie family. More or less, the FBI and some of the sheriff's department are dealing with this case, and they're waiting on the DNA and this, that, and the other. But you know, Nanos has hated this case, and you know why? Because it's brought attention on him. He sat there, the bloody, you know, King Dick in his own, king of Pima County, doing whatever he's doing, and, you know, just throwing his weight about and doing whatever the hell he wants. And then suddenly this case comes up and all this spotlight's been put on him. So now it's come out about him lying on his resume, all the times he's been suspended, all the things. He doesn't like this attention, so he's trying to shut it down, because what he's trying to do is control it, control the narrative. He doesn't want FBI attention. He doesn't want public attention because he can't stand up to public scrutiny. And he knows it, and that's what this is about. It's nothing to do with Nancy or probably even the neighbours. It's to do with Nanos not wanting attention. Unwanted attention. Oh, he'd love it if everyone was there saying what a fabulous sheriff he is. But because nobody's saying that, he's going to shut it down.
So, yeah, I guess I got to gather all my stuff. I'll leave it all here on the chair. And then I guess I'll just take my ID. Yeah, so.
just so you guys are understanding that there was someone out here.
You're fucking kidding me.
So, all right. How far are you?
I'm on Wetmore and Clarence.
Wetmore and Clarence? Are we able to wait for her to get here? Or?
I can stand by with the equipment.
You want to make sure it's all packed up.
But yeah,
ready to go.
we want you to verify that all your stuff is there, that you put everything where it needs to
Do you
be.
need this at all?
Yeah,
Because I want to make sure I take that with me. All right, babe, I'm hanging up.
I love you.
All right, love you too.
Oh,
With all your stuff, I just want to verify that you know that all your stuff is there.
Yeah, I'm going to take.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Got my...
so these guys are just doing their job. To be fair, the guy who's actually speaking to him, this one actually gives me the chills with the looks, but they've been told to do this, so they're doing it whether they agree with it or not. And yeah, these are direct orders from Sheriff Nanos. This is direct orders from Nanos.
Oh, is that 856? 7-0. You're cool. You're cool. No problem. Either or.
I can't take both my phones.
That's what I'm trying to make sure.
So we're
Your vest as well.
You have a necklace and any other jewelry, I'll just take it out. You take that.
And they won't accept it. They will have to put it into our
I'm
safety
really
bin.
concerned for my safety at this point. I really don't know what's going on, man. You guys are really scaring me right now.
Scary me.
You guys are really scaring me, brother. I'm concerned at this point.
I'd be scared, would you? Because you're sitting on a public road.
You just, no, I know. Can I talk? Because literally, if he was here, he was here an hour ago.
So there's no supervisor that I can speak to at all.
We just spoke to his supervisor.
He's asking again for a supervisor. Now, the thing is, of course, America's supposed to be the land of the free, but there's a lot of hassle already going on about the World Cup, and they're not letting people into the World Cup, referees, if they're from the wrong country or they're the wrong colour or they're the wrong this, that or the other. Do you know what? I wouldn't dream of going to America. Honest to God, the way it is now in America, you just would not feel safe. Even American citizens are not safe themselves. Nobody's safe in America these days.
There's nobody higher up than him that I can speak to out here at all.
At this point, not right now.
So you're rejecting me to speak to anybody higher up at this point.
We had our supervisor last time.
Which was a gentleman that I can spoke to now.
Sorry.
The only supervisor that I'm
Right now, yeah.
and just to be clear, you guys are taking me down to the Pima County or the detention center. That's where we're going.
Yes.
The detention centre. They're sitting on the road, public road.
They're arresting groups. It's seriously. I can't talk. I gotta go. I gotta do this. Talk today. Sorry.
He says, I'm sorry, the policeman says, I'm sorry. They know it's wrong, but you know what? They're just doing their job, I suppose. I think we're really getting to
And I can only take the one phone, you're saying?
what
I've
Nanos
never
is
heard
all
of these.
about.
Not being able. I'm sorry.
That's what I don't get.
Come on, man.
No, seriously. All right. Pick up that place.
Crazy, dude.
He doesn't deserve this, dude. Yeah, greens.
Well, this is not right, dude. This is not right.
I think that's about, because I think he has to turn his phone off in a minute. But personally, to me, doesn't matter, as I say, what you think about the streamers, their motives or whatever, it's wrong. That's, you're not doing anything that deserves being arrested, surely. I don't know what he's being charged with. What's the offence? What is the offence? Just that Nanos, there must be some new laws that have been brought in, just like Nanos laws. Just because Nanos doesn't like you or doesn't want you to do it, then it doesn't matter if it's against the law or not. He's good at doing things against the law, Nanos. He can do whatever he likes because he's the sheriff. But in Nanos's world, you can't even do things that are within the law if he doesn't like them.
Chat, love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Somebody's around, please follow me. Just follow me. Follow me there and make sure I make it there safe.
No, you see, we're scared. You know,
That's all I can say, man. You guys have a good one. Love you guys.
I feel like he was as if he was almost thinking he'd never survive this or something. I don't know, because he can't understand why he's been arrested. Anyway, as I say, let me know what you think. Maybe you think it's right what Nanos did. I don't know. Yeah. And they were out to get him and Alex, the other guy. The warning period is over. Sheriff Nanos said he's crackful behaviour and possible jail time if they're unlawful jail. In the meantime, where's the perpetrator who kidnapped Nancy Guthrie? Oh, we don't know. We don't know, but we've got these 2 YouTubers in custody. Got 2 YouTubers in custody. Yay! We're doing really well with this Nancy Guthrie case. What a little arsehole he is. He is definitely, you know, maybe you'll come and arrest me. Good job I live in Spain, isn't it? Otherwise, I'd have the Pima County sheriffs knocking on my door and saying, it's a new law, you're not allowed to criticise Sheriff Nanos. It's a new law that Sheriff Nanos brought. Can't criticise him. Can't call him the clown sheriff or the Rambo sheriff. The ego-driven maniac. You're not allowed to say that. So good job I live in Spain, or maybe he'll be in touch with Interpol, and Interpol will come knocking on my door and take me off to Pima County to be arrested for criticising this idiot. You know, Hitler did things like that, didn't he? You know, made up his own laws. Any dissent you were sort of sat on. Yeah, in the meantime, this guy is wandering around. This guy's wandering around. Like, oh, great, all the streamers have gone now. I can go back to that area if I want. I can go back and do something else if I want to. Nancy's God knows where, probably dead, taken out of the house, terrified, blood all over the porch, 84 years old. Well, that don't matter, because Nanos, he's just happy they've arrested a couple of YouTubers for sitting on a chair. What an idiot. So it's not a good advert for Pima County in general, is it? And Nancy Guthrie's neighbourhood, my God, if those neighbours were worried about their house prices or whatever, who'd want to live there? You won't want to live among those neighbours. You won't want to live in a jurisdiction where you can get arrested just for doing nothing, whereas people who've done terrible crimes are walking free. I don't know, what do you think Nancy would have made of it? Do you think Nancy would have been one of those people? If it would have been one of her neighbours who'd been kidnapped, do you think Nancy would have been like Sue Ellen, complaining, putting cactus on the easement and dog excrement? Do you think Nancy would have done that? I don't think so, but I didn't know Nancy, so maybe she would. Maybe that's what they're all like in that neighbourhood. So anyway, let me know what you think. Do you think it's right these YouTubers have been arrested? You know, this should, I don't know. Personally, I don't. So whether it's not, they're not like YouTubers that I would watch normally. I'm probably more likely to watch them in a case like that. And this is what I mean. It's backfired or worked in the YouTubers' favour in a way, because people have been sending them fortunes to get them bailed out and to help them with legal costs, because hopefully they're going to sue that little shitty sheriff. I hope they do. Hope they sue him. Get some civil rights lawyers involved. Somebody will take that up. I'm sure that is not in the Constitution, the American Constitution, to set a precedent like that. Because you know what, today it's them two, but it could be any YouTuber. It could be anybody. You know, as I say, like in Rambo First Blood, the sheriff just deciding you're not walking through my town because I don't like the look of you. You don't fit in with the rest of the neighborhood. No, you know, it's not exactly, you're not breaking any laws, but you might do. Don't arrest someone just in case they might break a law. Oh, God. Crazy, isn't it? So where I am with Nancy's case now is I'm thinking, well, if the family don't give a shit, because, you know, I don't see Annie and Tommaso out there giving out leaflets or asking the streamers to please, you know, appeal for their mum to be found or whatever. Nobody cares. That's how it feels. I know that's probably, I'm sure they care. Of course, it's their mum or their grandma's gone missing. But, you know, this absolute, I'm thinking of other cases like Gabby Petito, you know, where her family, they wanted to know what had happened with Gabby and they worked with the streamers, etc. And they still, you know, they've used what happened, the terrible thing that happened to their daughter, to help other women that are in domestic violence situations, etc. You can use the social media. You can use it for a positive effect. Why would you want to stamp on it completely before your mum has even been found? So we've got to remember this. This perpetrator has not been found. So it's not like the case is over and why he's still hanging around and blah, 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 blah. That man is wandering around somewhere, or men, or whoever took Nancy. And Nancy has not been found. And yeah, maybe the streamer's sitting outside her house, it may not make any difference, but it might be just one person going past one day. Anyway, that's my view on it. Please let me know your view. Maybe you think it's right that they were arrested. You know, and I don't know how I'd feel if it was outside my house. I honestly think until that person was found, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Once they were found, be right, move on now. You know, this case is solved. But until it was solved, just don't get it. Why they're so anti the streamers, these neighbours. Just don't get it. But anyway, it's good to be the king, Sean. Yeah, just looking at the chat, there's a few good points there. Would Nanos, so Julie says, would Nanos have the same attitude if it was a member of his family? Wouldn't I? I don't know how I feel. But, you know, I don't know how Nancy's family feel because they're not coming out and saying anything. It's good to be the king. He loves being the king. He's definitely got little man syndrome. He's like a Napoleon, isn't he? Like just unbelievable. And hi, Joanne. I'm just finishing now. You've come in right at the end, but hopefully you'll do catch up. Yeah. So, as I say, I don't know whether I even want to talk about the case anymore because I do the family and law enforcement, even the FBI, they're not making any appeals. And, you know, we keep saying we hope this is because they're on the brink of an arrest or something. And Nanos keeps telling us, yeah, we're closer to solving this case. But it doesn't feel like it, does it? But maybe it will be. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. You know, this case will be solved. But nobody's talking about it. And if they're even sort of strangling the last couple of streamers that are talking about it, why is that? Odd. And there's lots of people out there with missing loved ones would love a bit of attention, would love some streamer go and, you know, maybe find something out or search for their body, their missing loved one. There are still some streamers out there searching. I think one's called Dad's Gone Live or something, and there was another one. They're out there going around looking for things, but But you know, the police don't even want that, really. Next thing, they'll probably get arrested. I wonder what they'll get arrested for. Searching for a missing person? That'll be a new offence, according to Nanos. Okay, I'm going. So I will see you really soon, as always, in the next video. I'm not sure if I'm going to be covering Nancy's case, or, well, obviously I will if any. Then you feel playing into your hands as well. If you stop covering it, that's like, it's almost like that's what they want, isn't it? Make the case go away. Nanos definitely doesn't want people talking about this case because he doesn't like the attention that it brings on him. That's what it comes down to, isn't it? Oh, that was a Kofi, I think. Thank you. Someone, it says on here. Let's see. Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much for the Kofi. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. Don't know, it sort of, don't know, it shows on there. Thank you. I appreciate it. And let me know, all of you, either if you're in chat or if you're watching at home, do you want me to continue covering the Nancy Guthrie case as much as I can? Not that there's any real official information coming out. I want to, but then in another way, I don't want to, because I think, do the family want people to cover it? That's, you know, to me, if the family don't want us to talk about it or cover it, but what about Nancy? Nancy's the most important thing, isn't she? Where is she? Where is this lady? 84 years old. Could be my mum. Could be your grandma, your mum. Could be me. Could be you. You know, could be anyone. One place that people should feel safe. If you can't feel safe anywhere else, you should feel safe in your own bed. It's disgusting that she was snatched away like that, and we still don't know what happened to her. You know, and there's been a lot of terrible things in the news. I don't know if any of you, I mean, I'm not going to cover it because it's just too gruesome. But in Northern Ireland, in the UK, just recently, some guy had to actually decapitate another guy. I saw someone sent me the video. Oh my God, it's so distressing. Just where's heat come from that you can attack someone in a street, stab them, and then try and actually cut their head off? And it was only because then the neighbours, you know, people around there, were shouting, and they were scared to approach him. But one guy, who will probably get arrested, got out like a hockey stick, a hurling stick, or whatever, an Irish sort of game that they play. Got a stick and went out and was whacking this guy over the head as the guy was trying to cut the head off the person that he'd got on the floor. Where the hell, you know, what is going on in this world? You know, what is going on? Just don't know. Oh, gosh, I should put some pictures of wombats, baby wombats or kangaroos to cheer everybody up. You know, but it's a bit depressing, isn't it? But anyways, we have to remember that most people are just obviously on a true crime channel. We end up talking about distressing things. But yeah, as for Nancy that she's found, and there's a break in the case soon. I mean, it's unlikely that Nancy is going to be alive, but just for her to be found and laid to rest with dignity. Because where is she? Where are her remains? Just tossed out in the desert? You know, I had that vision. She's in some sort of a well, in some sort of a water thing. She shouldn't be left there. She should be found and laid to rest in a proper way. Okay, thank you. Thank you again, Sean, for the Kofi. And I will see you soon in the next video. Until then, please pray for Nancy. Look after yourself, especially because you are the most important person. Don't forget, have something nice to drink, have something nice to eat. Don't save things for later or save things for the best or a special occasion. Just today, if you're alive, you're watching this, that is a special occasion. So, you know, live for the moment. Don't try and save things, you know, just live and pamper yourself. Have a manicure, a pedicure, you know, go for a nice walk in the woods or something, you know, it's for your mental health, your mental health. Hug your dog, hug your kids, hug your husband if you have to, hug your wife, you know, hug your boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, just do something nice for you because you're the most important person. Because everything would probably fall apart without you. So I'll see you really in the next video. And until then, love you loads. And may your God go with you. Bye.